Everyone, what's going on? Welcome to episode 89 of the podcast. Super excited to be here today. Thank you guys so much for dialing in, whether you're dialing in from Anchorage, Alaska, Albuquerque, New Mexico, or Skokie, Illinois, or we're even going to throw out Moxie, Kansas. What you know about Moxie, Kansas? Anyways, it's actually been a while since we have an update. We had back-to-back interviews. It was one of my priorities in the past 30 days. Acquiescence was to do at least 2 interviews a month, and it's just, to me, it just comes down to a matter of scheduling, right? So those 2 interviews I scheduled with Krendor and with Voyboy, I did literally on the same day. So it's like probably, it's a little bit of upfront work just scheduling it out, but man, it's good eats and I like it. But also been missing kind of doing one of these as well. So I think anytime you're missing something, it means you're in a good spot, right? You're able to mix it up and dial it up. And so super excited to be here today. We're going to talk about a wide range of things. First, I'd say is the most topical, because it just literally happened probably about an hour plus ago, is you guys know that you could text me at 313-241-9639. And something that's extremely important to me is that I always respond. I always respond. It just takes me a while, but that's not what I wanted to say. What I wanted to say is that it's never automated. And there was a post on a subreddit that said, hey, I got a happy birthday text from Dan. It's pretty fired up about it. And then there was a couple individuals, meaning 2, underneath it said, hey, that's 100% automated. And then I went in there, I'm like, that's 100% not true. Anytime you get a text from me, it's really me. And that goes for any interaction online, whether it's comments, DMs, anything like that, because it's really important to me. Reason being is that I want you to know when you get a message from me that it's actually from me. It's not from someone else. It's not from a bot. It's not automated. And the reason it's important to me is because if you take the time to send me a message, to write a comment, to send me a DM, to me, that's, I don't say it's not, it's something that's important to me, right? It's just, you took your time out of the day to do that. I believe you deserve more than an automated response. And it's, for me, it's no judgment of people like using automated responses, but it's just what I can tell anyone that gets a message from me is like, hey, that's not from someone else. It's not from someone running my social media. It's from me. And so when I saw that, I took it from a place of 2 things. 1, it's not malicious. 2, those people don't know what they're talking about. And that's okay. It's on me to make sure I clarify that. And 3, let me take some time and explain why it is important to me. So the people that left those, I don't think they did it maliciously. I think it's probably just an assumption. Maybe it's the assumption that 1, who would take that kind of time to message everyone, and 2, maybe that's how they've been dealt with in the past, and or how they interact with people in the past. And so I wasn't mad. But it was very important to me to communicate clearly that that's not the case. And so when I said that, I put a little dramatics on the post, when talking to you, but in the actual post, I just said, hey, look, this is something, it's one of the few things that I take serious. I don't take a lot serious at all, from sometimes how I present videos and things like that, but it is one of the only things I take serious online, just because I don't know, it's just something that means a lot to me. And I think based on messages that I get, I think sometimes I get a message that I know someone put a lot of time and thought into it, whether it's, hey, you made me laugh, or you helped me through this tough time. And so I try to put that sort of effort back into it. Now, it may be like just a quick short text response or a smiley face or something, but it's literally me. So I wanted to clarify that. The only thing, for transparency's sake, the only thing that is automated in the texting is the opt-in process, right? It's, some of it is automated, but it's just like it's like, hey, here's where you sign up, here's how it works. But outside of that, it's me interacting. So if you want to interact one-on-one, 313-241-9639. And if you're outside of North America, international texting is not there yet, but I believe eventually they're working on it. And if you still want to sign up when it does go international, I can text you and let you know, so you don't have to keep checking back. Anyways, so that's something, and that's something that, really what I've been using the texting for as of right now is 2 things. 1, to check in and just say hello to people, especially on the weekend, and 2, to wish people happy birthday. And then from time to time, like, one of the cool things about, just to take you behind the curtain of the texting, the community app that I use, it allows me over time to, the more I interact with people, the more I can, I guess, segment the individuals in terms of like, hey, if you only like talking to me about reality TV, I'm not going to send you a text about gaming. So it allows me to just deliver more information to you, or things that you may care about that are more specific to you, right? And that's something that I haven't messed with a ton, but the only thing I've really messed with is the Survivor sharing when I do Survivor watch parties. And I will just send that to a link to when we're about to go live with the Survivor watch party to people that just text me about reality TV. You know, and so it's just messing with the stuff. But ultimately, I feel like I've talked about this before, is that I just want to make sure that the number one most important thing is that I'm not wasting your time, and that I'm only sending you messages that you care about, or texting that you care about. And that's outside of the one-to-one interaction, right? So I do have the ability to send a text message to everyone all at once, but I really don't do that a ton, because I don't, you know, I have not found the right cadence for me. I've not found what I think people care about. You know, so I'd rather, to me, I always err on the side of, look, if I'm not sure, I don't send you the text, and then just kind of take it from there. So that was kind of an interesting thing. The other thing I've been messing around with, and I talked a little bit about it on Check the Wire, the podcast with Northern Lion, but since then some things have changed. Is you know, I've been through, you know, what I like to call ironing, sharpening iron. Just randomly got brought up in a conversation during the podcast, myself and Ryan, about the importance, or maybe the unsure of the importance, on hitting the like button on YouTube videos. It's all something we always ask for, but I don't know the importance of it. I just know it's something that I've not put a lot of time and effort into making that a priority. So what I've done is, you know, for one series of Spelunky series, I have an overlay on the video saying, hey, this 296 likes unlocks this special character we get to use. So, and it really hadn't worked very well, but I still kept doing it until recently, until the video, as of, I think, Sunday, went live, or Saturday. It hit the like goal, and it kind of destroyed it. And I think part of it is because we played really well in the video. And I think also, I'm guessing that's the catalyst, but it started something. And so the next video, so we hit the like goal, I think it was 296. I think it was like in the 300s. And so the next day, which is today's day when I post the video, I'm now shooting the podcast, it had already hit like 300, having only been out for, you know, 8 hours. So I already hit the like goal with a ton of time left. And so, you know, it's working in terms of it's getting people that are enjoying the video to hit the like button. And it's kind of exciting, right? It's now there's like a little streak going. But I just don't, you know, it's just something I'm sampling with. And I think what I believe will happen is, over time, as that button gets hit more and more, that YouTube just serves up the videos more, which you know, just kind of grows everything. That's what I believe happens. I have no data that shows, but I can't fathom that doesn't help bring, you know, awareness or spreads the love on the channel. So when people do that, it really helps. And I was kind of, I wouldn't say I wasn't on the fence of it not working, but I was ready to take a new tactic until I saw that, you know, it worked on the last video. And like I said, maybe just that little jump spark of actually playing really well in the Spelunky video helped, and maybe it will, you know, the streak will keep things going. I don't know, but we'll find out, and I'm sure I'll check in with you, you know, and the next, you know, personal podcast. Other thing that's been going on, that's been going well is or that I decided to change, was I changed the pack format in terms of how we open up packs on the show, and just an update as to why it was taking a lot of time, and the excitement on my end was dwindling. Not because I didn't like opening packs, but I had to start buying packs in terms of bulk, right? I had to buy packs because of the enormous support of the community, which is a great problem to have. I had to start buying, you know, hundreds of packs, and I'm now opening hundreds of packs, and not, you know, maybe a little dramatic, but like close to 100 packs at the end of the week, which I was super excited to do. But I'm like, you know, who wants to watch someone open up packs for a couple hours? And, you know, and I open up packs at the end of the show. So, you know, at this point, I'm running on fumes, and so I just felt like it wasn't a great entertaining aspect of the show, and it wasn't how things started with the intention. Like we opened them and there was a lot of excitement, but kind of like anything else, things grow. And so I took essentially the same economics of the pack opening and just reduced the number of packs we opened, but also increased the excitement and the value of the pack. So now every pack we open, you know, they're not low tier packs. There's a lot of value in them, and it's really exciting. So I think from my standpoint, from the entertainment side, from the production side, I've really enjoyed the switch. And I think the audience and people that tune into the Twitch show really have enjoyed it as well, because it's a lot more up-tempo, you know, a little more action and a lot more excitement for sure. So I think it's worked. And I'm definitely have no plans to go back to the other way. And I think it's made the segment, you know, more of what it originally started like. And I, you know, like I said, I give full credit to the community for forcing the change, right? It's just got, the support was so crazy. It's like, all right, hey, let's change it up. And it leads me into something else that I thought about, and I talked a little bit about, in Check the Wire, is that, you know, things change, right? And you know, it was sparked by a discussion on Check the Wire about how, you know, Ryan's shows changed and some people didn't like it or blah, blah, blah. But it really got me thinking of, really one thing. I want to continue to do the show 10 years from now, 20 years from now, but I'll be disappointed if it's exactly the same. But I can tell you for a fact it won't be exactly the same. You know, do I still want to be playing Tarkov 10 years from now? Maybe, if it's still a lot of fun, if there's still innovation. But if the show looks exactly like it does 10 years from now, I don't think I'd be happy. I just know I wouldn't. You know, to me, it's always about continuing to grow and change. And not even grow and change from like a numbers or community or subscriber standpoint. It's more about just, hey, pushing the envelope, and it's like everything else in terms of every show, just making it just a little bit better each time. And I think I've gotten away from that a little bit, especially during this you know, quarantine time. You know, my time's a little bit more divided, you know, based on just a lot of stuff, you know, without getting into details, but, you know, not having, you know, as much help around home and stuff like that, and you know, I got to pick up the slack at home, which I'm happy to do, but the time is cut out anywhere. So I feel like that's kind of one area of the show that's, I don't want to say suffered, but definitely, you know, every show I'd always change one thing or upgrade one thing, and now it's kind of the point, at least now, and it's changing, and it will kind of, I don't want to say get back to normal, but I'll have more time to spend on the production of the show. Now it's like, hey, get to the office, make sure you start the show on time, or as close to the start time as possible, and just go. It's like almost like turn the camera on and go type thing, where I don't have a ton of time to update the assets and you know, make all the changes that I want. But the good part is I'm keeping, I have a list right here in this book I'm looking at. It's just all the changes, all the little increases in production, things I want to try out. I have a list of them all, so they're not being lost to the ether. It's just a matter of, you know, taking the time to implement them and stuff like that. So that's been, you know, I guess that's a little bit off the cuff, but that's been going well. Another thing that I did recently that I really normally, I said I was done doing, but it was really just a unique, not unique proposition, but unique time, and I thought it was really cool. But I really don't do a ton of, you know, Big Brother or reality TV interviews anymore, just because I feel like I've said everything I had to say, and you know, I've did a really exclusive one on the Terrence podcast. I think it's called The Terrence Show, I believe. And I just don't have a whole lot more to add in that, nor is it a big focus of mine. However, there's an individual from last season's Big Brother named Kat. She really, I think, kind of took the bull by the horns in terms of doing a lot of live Instagrams to entertain people during quarantine, and not just entertain people, but really she did a focus on interviewing a lot of people from reality TV, but just keeping things positive and providing some value and entertainment and maybe a little sunshine to people that, you know, were looking for entertainment, because there's nothing on TV, or not as much on TV with sports, and so I decided to do it for that reason alone. I didn't know her. That's even for me to even do a Big Brother interview, you know, most of the time I know the person or have met the person, and so for me to do one, and it's not because it's like high and mighty type thing, it's just I just don't do it. And but to not know her and to do it, it's a little rare for me. It's very rare for me, but I wanted to do it for that reason alone. And it was cool. It was cool to to do that every now and then, but it went really well. And like I said, anytime someone's doing something a little bit different, or especially something that skews towards positive, I'm always so much more willing to consider it, even if it's something I normally wouldn't do, just because I feel like it's someone's trying to, trying to brighten someone's day. And I think there's a lot of stuff out there that it may, definitely all people are always trying to entertain, but just in the fashion that it's done is what's important to me. And if I want to be a part of it or not. So I think that's something that's, a little bit outside the box that I think went pretty well. And one of the things I did a little bit different too with that one is normally I don't, I won't bring up, hey, can we make sure to talk about this or bring this up? I just was like, hey, I'll come on your show and whatever you want to talk about, we'll talk about. But this one, I'm like, hey, just, I'd love to just mention what's going on with Twitch, just because that's what I'm working on now. That's what I'm focused on. That's what I spend all my time focusing on is building and growing in the show. And so that is one, it's the rare interview. I'm like, hey, look, I'd really like to talk about this. And, so in the scheduling, we kind of worked that out, and it was natural, not in like a fake way or like, hey, let's talk about this for an extended period of time. Just like, hey, this is what I'm working on. I'd love to be able to talk about it kind of way. So that went really well. And then also, I don't know, I'm trying to think, it's been so long. We did back-to-back interviews. This is like the third week, is that Demon Souls continues to go very well. And I don't want to spoil anything, and nothing's really done yet, but I guess semi-related but unrelated. Something that's really cool that happened, over the past couple of days is there's every now, I don't say every now and then, but there's a lot of cool things that come from the community. But there's an individual that animated a bit from Team Unity, and it wasn't just animated. It was like as close to like Pixar as humanly possible. Just a very, very professional, well done animation, and I just really appreciate it. Anytime someone takes time out of their day to create something based on the show or the community, I just it just means a lot to me. And then like just when something like this happens, the first thing I did, I'm like, man, I really would love to share this. But before I do anything like that, I always ask for like not permission, but also what can I do? How can I best help that person, right? And in this case, anytime if someone makes something that I think's cool and I want to share it, I would say, hey, look, like what I number one, can I share this? Number two, what's your best handle to promote, whether on Instagram, Twitter, what do you want me to do? Because if it's something that someone puts a lot of time into, like you just don't know, right? Like when I share it to my stuff, like, so the animation that I shared, when I shared it to Instagram, do I think it's going to guarantee someone's going to get hired or maybe get work from it? No. But do I think there's a chance? Yeah. So because of that, when it's like, especially for this animation, do I think there's someone that follows me on Instagram that may be in charge of animations for their company or hiring or marketing? Yeah, I do. Do I think that someone may see this and that happens? Yeah. Is it likely? I don't know. But it's just important to me that when someone takes time out of their day to really, really do something above and beyond, and I really like it and I share it, I hope that, sometimes like that gas is rewarded. It's not always rewarded and not everything's always shared, but it was just something like a really just amazing. And to me, it baffles me how talented people can be. And, I know for this individual in particular, I know it's his full-time job and stuff, but even to be able to do that like creatively in your free time and create something of like that quality, it was just insane to me. And really just made me, appreciate the at-bats that I get to be able to do this. Because not to downplay anything I do, but, I put on a show and I make videos. But to be able like to creatively animate something or to paint or to, play music at a high level, there's just a lot of talent out there. In particular in the community. Something else that just happened that if you're part of the show, you'll probably, if you're listening to this live on Monday, maybe it'll be instituted. But there's an individual community that said, hey, look, my wife sings. I know there's this kind of riff that you've been joking around you'd like resung. And so it was resung, and, I'm going to work it into the show. But just stuff like that is there's just so much talent out there. It's just incredible to me. I don't know. I just, to me, I always think the internet is now like the great equalizer. There is no more gatekeepers. If you want to sing and you want to try and make a go of it, you can do it. You don't have to sign with, Rhubarb Records or anything. And so I think it's cool. You know, I just love when people share their talents. And that's one of the things, especially during the show, if someone's like, hey, you know, I just caught this massive fish, or I made, you know, I basket wove this. I'm like, did you drop it in the community Discord at discord.gg/DanGheesling? Because I love seeing that stuff. I feel like sometimes, you know, and it's not my place to do it, but sometimes I feel like sometimes people just need to hear from someone else, whether it's someone they know or don't know, that, hey, what you're doing is good, or you got talent. Sometimes that can be the difference. I know sometimes that's been the difference for me. And I don't know. I think everyone's got some kind of talent. It may not always be creative, or it could be organizationally or mathematically, or who knows what. But I don't know. I always like seeing people put themselves out there and share their talents in any kind of way. And so I was encouraged that. But anyways, with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed today's podcast, the update of what's been going on. A lot of fun stuff in the works. And to me, it's always, don't talk about it, just do it, right? And so I'm more excited about doing it and then sharing with you the process of actually doing it and kind of taking it from there. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you guys enjoyed the podcast, a great way you can kind of feed the like machine or spread the love for the shows. If you really enjoyed the show, you know, rate it or leave a review on iTunes or your platform of choice. If you loved it, sharing it with someone you think may get value from it, may brighten their day, may entertain them, may make them laugh. That's really the best way to support this podcast. And so I want to thank you guys so much for listening. And as always, I'll see you guys next Monday for some more piping hot podcast action. Later, guys.